and some mom and dad aren't like going, what in the world?
Yeah.
So just be like, my favorite childhood memory was.
Okay.
And Brad will tell you when to go.
Ask him.
Oh, what's your favorite childhood memory?
Well, I don't know that I really have a favorite childhood memory. There's a lot that I like. The one that I would probably mention is just the sandbox with the treehouse in our backyard. I always remember that we would go out there and we'd dig these huge holes. I don't know why. We mixed all the sand up with real dirt and made it pretty bad afterwards, but we'd always dig these holes that would go down 2 or 3 feet. We thought they were the coolest thing 'cause we'd cover them up with boards and then bury it so they just had a little hole to get down in. And somehow we always ended up filling them up with water too and going swimming in the mud too. I thought that was a lot of fun when I was little. It was great to have that.
What's one of your favorite memories with mom? Do you want a minute?
Yeah. These are hard.
I know. So you guys be thinking of yours. Well, we'll have different ones being read.
Oh boy. Help me.
Trying to think of mine.
What do you do with her?
What do you like about mom?
stuff?
Yeah, what do you like about mom? We'll start with that. Maybe that will spark some memories. What are some things that you admire? Some attributes that you admire in mom?
Right. My mother's a very special person. She really means a lot to me. You know, one of the things I always remember about her is during the day or sometimes, and just about any time, she's there, she's around. Like I'd come home from school and she'd be there. When I was little, she was always there with often with something to snack on. She had some cookies freshly cooked or something like that. She's always been very nice about coming to the things that I was doing and supporting me in them. And I've always admired that, you know, most evenings you can walk down the hall and she's in reading her scriptures, or during the day she's doing things like that. So she tries hard to do what's right and be good. It's a good example that way. Always worked hard in her callings, even though they're hard sometimes.
What are some of your favorite attributes that you admire in dad?
For his dad, the best thing you can say is really he's a very hard worker, which I admire a lot. I feel like I've picked up a lot of that from him. That's something that he does a lot, and you can see that all the time with him. But it's not a bad thing because he gets a lot done, and it shows that he's determined to accomplish a lot of good things, and he really has a lot. A lot of kids today don't really realize, or they don't know how to work and know what it means to work and feel pleasure in doing it actually. But I think he's taught me that I can go out and work, and I like getting all hot and sweaty and really feeling like I accomplished something, even though it's hard work. I enjoy it because I've grown up doing that with him. Like when we were little, ever since I was little, he had his own business doing pipes and sprinklers. I go out and help him carry him around and work with him and move out to farm, help him build the house. I mean, that's what I've done most with my dad. So it was very good. It's something I really enjoy remembering about him. So.
What's something funny that you can remember our family doing, or something?
Something funny?
Or something
For fun.
fun?
Like a vacation kind of thing, or just something
Like the Narrows. You always talk about the Narrows. Like, what are some family vacations that are really?
Yeah, tell us about a family vacation.
All right. Well, most of our family vacations were going to grandma's house or or at Grandma Grandpa Brinker house or the Bluncks. And sometimes we in other places, but usually up to Grandma Brinker house was probably the largest vacations we ever took. Um, but the one I probably enjoyed the most, just because we were able to spend more time together as a family and had a lot of fun together, was when we went up to Montana. I went to Mount Rushmore and drove to Yellowstone, and we were able to see a lot of things we hadn't really seen before, and it wasn't something we had to drive through really quickly. We just did what we felt like doing, and that was a lot of fun. I don't know. We did a lot together. I was saying enough detail about things. I forget.
Was there any moments where your parents did something on that trip that you remember your dad being crazy?
Buffalo walking through the camp.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but it's just something they did. So
How did they
It's a
react?
memory with them.
Did they react funny
Like,
or
did your dad like, shh?
yeah, he always does.
He was always up early out the tent, and he'd get
Yeah.
on like him. I'm sorry.
That's one thing that I do remember about my dad, is that he does like playing with the animals a lot. So we're out in nature and going camping and things. He's usually up first, out doing something. And on that vacation where we went to Yellowstone, we were camping, and he was out and watching the buffalo walking through our camp. Amazing, because all of us are basically in bed asleep and don't realize that they're walking right next to our tent. But he likes to just sit and watch and enjoy those things. We throw cow pies at each other, but that's okay.
What about your mom? Was there any experience with your mom on that trip?
Mm. Yeah, she's just always there supporting everything. It's hard to say exactly a clear memory, but it's a memory I could talk about going into that big thing with all the people from the Mormon handcart trek, but it's not really our family thing, though. I don't know.
What's something, a quality that you've noticed in mom and dad's marriage, or them interacting with each other, that you would like to incorporate into your own marriage, and also maybe some attributes that they've taught you that you would like to pass on to your posterity?
Well, I think something I'd like to pass down is to my posterities, like from my father, teaching them to be able to work hard as well, and teaching. I just lost my thought. I had it. It's hard. Teaching. Why did I just blank that?
Okay, keep moving.
That's okay. I was-
something you want to pass on or
I know, but I just lost it too. I also think that it's very good the way my parents are very open about everything. Very accepting of people. I remember times when people just show up at our house and they come and get to spend the night. We've never met them before, don't know them, but they're very trusting and loving. I remember lots of times just friends or people visiting, they make comments about how nice it is to come to the house. It's nice and relaxing. Just because our parents are good and open and very easy to get along with. And that's something that I would like to pass down too, is that maybe just those midnight chats in the kitchen. You come home from a date and you have to sit down and talk to mom and dad in the kitchen. That's especially for mom. I think she's always tried to be very involved in everything that I've done, and make sure she knows exactly what's happening so she can help any way that she can. She's always been very supportive. So.
Tell spell learning try to like.
All right. When I was learning to ride a bike, it was a lot of fun. We would go up to the church just 2 blocks up from our house in Pleasant Grove, or we'd go down to the bank 2 blocks down the other way from our house. And my mostly my dad, I think he was the one that taught us to stand up next to the curb so we could get our foot up on and still be able to hold on to something, basically keep our foot on the curb and still be able to get going. And they'd walk behind, of course, and hold it for a little bit. But I remember crashing a lot. But it was a lot of fun. Both Kendall and I were down just riding our bikes around. We had similar bikes, just different colors. We were able to tell them apart pretty nice. We had a lot of fun together. Just go ride around once we learned how to do it. But I think it took a while. I think it was a lot of Sunday evenings and Saturdays that we'd go down to either place and ride our bikes around. I think we spent a lot more time at the church, actually. Not just on our bikes, but scooters and other things we had. Or fun. Pogo balls.
Is there anything that you want to say to mom and dad? You can look in the camera.
I don't know. I just like to say thanks to my parents. They've done a great job in teaching me the right way and being a good example to me. I've learned a lot from them. I don't know, not much I can add to it, so just thanks.
Cool. Anything else?
Who's next? Oh,
Rethinking more will play back up. Yes. Any second thoughts about this? Okay, are you ready? Can we start?
Eyeballs.
Okay. What's your favorite childhood memory
Childhood.
with our family?
Well, I think my favorite would probably be either going to Disneyland. That was fun. I remember doing that when Casey got back from his mission, or when we went up to Wyoming and saw Mount Rushmore and went to Yellowstone. That was really cool. I like that, especially when we went to bear country. Saw all those bears and that bear jumped up on the side of the van. That was awesome.
Fun.
It was a lot of fun. That's probably one of my favorite memories.
Do you have any favorite memories with just mom? It can be a series of memories. It doesn't have to be just one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, probably my favorite thing that I remember about mom, or that kind of makes it sound like she's dead. probably the thing that I remember most about mom is that, yeah. Well, mom's always there for me. She's always been there, like whenever I'm sick or whenever I've been hurt or anything. She's always been there taking care of me. Every day I come home from school, she's there. That's one of my favorite things about mom.
What's your favorite memory of dad? Your series of memories?
Yeah. Probably my favorite memory with dad is when Casey and I and dad all went up and hiked up to the back of Spence Fork Peak. We camped up there overnight. It was raining and it poured all that night, and there was lightning all over the place. And we were afraid we were gonna get struck by lightning. The wind blew over our tent. It was miserable when we were up there, but it was so much fun. It was a great memory. I learned a lot from that, and it was a lot of fun. I liked it.
what did you learn?
Learned to be prepared for rain and pack a little bit lighter because it was hard hiking up there. And even though it was like August when we went up there, it was still cold. And like when we got up in the peak, we were freezing. It was fun though. A lot of fun.
What's something that you admire? Some of the attributes that you admire in mom,
Mom?
and then you can go right into things that you like about dad.
Okay. Probably the things I like about mom is that she's always there for me. I kind of already said that, but she's always there for me, always taking care of me. She understands and listens to me, and yeah, she's just always there for me. I can always count on her. And probably what I like about dad is that he's taught me to work. He's a very hard worker. He, like, a lot of people don't know how to work, but he's taught me how to work, and I enjoy it. Yeah, he's always there for me too.
Should we wait till the washing machine there? I'm sorry.
What are you gonna ask him next?
Think of something funny that we've done together as a family. Think about how about just tell us about your favorite memory of a vacation that we've had.
Like, what's a funny memory when your mom like started laughing so hard she peed her pants or something like that?
Yes, you want one. Your mom started using your toothbrush. You tell?
Do you have any memories like that?
Yeah, I think we should. I feel like I can talk a little more about building a house and playing in the backyard. Honestly, yeah.
We should do memories. That's what they love.
Yeah, I don't think I did enough.
It's your
All right. But one of the funny things I remember Dad saying is when he was at work and he was driving down the road and he would stop at this one lady's house and there's a brown dog and his name was Brownie and I thought that was funny. I don't know. No.
You guys better tell more about your mom because she's gonna feel bad because 75% of this is about your dad.
Yeah.
Tell us about the trips that we take up to Grandma Brinker house.
All right. Well, yeah, I remember a lot of vacations we've taken. We went up to Grandma and Grandpa Brinker house, and it was a lot of fun. I remember going up there, having a lot of fights with the cousins and stuff, and remember going to the beaches. That was really cool. I remember it was always a lot of fun. I was never bored up there, and it was cool. Great experience going up there.
Why was it cool?
It was a lot of fun. I remember going to Mount St. Helens. That was really neat. Getting to see what forces of nature can do, powers of God and everything. That was cool. And we were always going to Lake Sacagawea, feeding the ducks, and that was fun. We were going shopping around there, going up to J. Robbins. And, yes. Robin J's. J. Robbins. I don't know. What else? I have any more questions.
What else did I ask you, Casey? Tell us about what?
The bucket.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Tell us about how learning to ride a bike.
Yeah, I remember when I was learning how to ride a bike, that we'd go up to the church parking lot, just a little ways away from where we were at, where we lived, and that would give me a push, and I'd get going, and then I'd start falling over, and he'd catch me, and then he'd push me again, and then Mom would take a turn, she'd start pushing me, and I start falling over, she'd catch me, and that was a lot of fun. Remember, yeah. First I had those training wheels, and then we took off the training wheels, and I started. Then I learned how to ride a bike without training wheels. That was really cool. What?
Tell us about when you said wiener.
Okay, well. Then one time me and Kendall were fighting over something. I don't even remember what it was. Then I called Kendall a wiener.
How old are you?
And he's like, Corbin, that's not nice. He started getting mad at me. He went and told Mom, so I had to go talk to Mom. Mom's all, that's not nice to say, wiener. You shouldn't say that. And I was like, oh man. So then I got really upset because I didn't like getting in trouble. Never have. And so I went up in my room, got all my clothes and toys, started packing me in my bag, and then Dad came and asked me questions of why I was running away and stuff, and I felt really bad because I had said wiener. That's why I was going to run away. And then I remember going out to the corner. I was gonna run away to the Drapers and live there. I remember getting out of the corner and Kimberly was walking home with Megan. And they're coming back to our house and they're like, "Where are you going, Corbin?" I was like, "I'm running away." I called Kendall a wiener. So then they're like, "Oh, you shouldn't run away." I guess Megan could come live with us or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember, but like they made me feel really bad. And so I was like, "All right." So I went back home, and it's been good ever since.
Okay. What are some of the attributes that you'd like to pass on to your posterity in years to come?
That you learned from your parents or saw.
Something that your parents have taught you. Mom and dad.
Give me someone's age.
Be creative.
Some of the things I'd like to give to my posterity when they come and I meet the right girl and everything. When that comes around, whenever that'll be, a couple of years after my mission. But after, what I'd like to pass on to my children, what mom and dad taught me is be hardworking. I've learned that a lot. It's a good thing to teach my kids. And to be very generous. Mom and dad have always been generous. And I remember that one time when they won the lottery and got $2 million, they donated all of it to charity. That was just really good. Just kidding. But like they've always been generous. They've always let people, like what Casey said, is when people would come and stay, they stop by looking for a place to camp. Mom and dad would let them stay at our house. They're always nice to people. I remember. I'd also like to teach them to, like what mom and dad taught me, is to be caring. They've always been nice to other people, and they've never been stuck up, selfish, or anything like that. And there's lots of people that are that way, but they've never been that way. They're always willing to talk to everyone. Every day we go to church, we have to wait for hours after church, and they're always talking to people. But that's a good thing. I admire that. And yeah,
All right.
I guess.
Kristen's turn.
You not want to say?
Well, do you want to say something to mom and dad?
Oh.
Look straight into the camera when you say that one. And don't say, speak as if you were talking to mom and dad.
Okay.
You're next.
Okay. Mom and Dad, I'd like to thank you for everything that you've taught me, for always teaching me, always being there for me. And thank you for putting up with me whenever I'm a couple minutes past curfew. Sorry about that. You got a couple more years and I'm out of the house. But thank you so much for everything you've done for me. You guys are a great example to me.
Okay. Go.
Said he sit over here, so then we mix it up so they're not all on one side.
Huh? Sit over here so she's looking this way.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Sure.
No, there's too much of a shadow. She turns the chair. We tried that. Is that right, Brian? Okay.
I should like have a shadow on my face.
So look good.
Now look at him.
Where were you? He's too bad.
There you go. Close up.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready? Ready? Okay, what's one of your favorite childhood memories? Not kind of like and speak slowly and clearly.
Could I say like something recent?
Sure.
Talk pretty loud.
Okay, talk loud and speak clearly.
Okay, well,
Good gum.
Yeah.
Your gum out.
Put it in her head.
No. Spit it out. Spit it out. Working on it.
Ah,
What's question?
you're next.
Favorite childhood memory?
Probably could be like a trip.
You're gonna have to be way louder. Talk like
Speak like you do at home.
you have to talk to somebody that's on the other side of the room.
Just act like this is your home and just be yourself.
Okay. Probably.
Tell us one of your favorite memories from going on vacation.
Okay. It was really fun when we went out to Yellowstone. It was really fun when we went out to Yellowstone and stuff. And like, it was fun.
Why was it fun?
Because we did a whole lot of stuff and we went and visited a whole lot of places.
What did we do and where did we visit?
Visited Yellowstone, Mount Rushmore, and I can't remember.
What did we do?
Well, we camped overnight at Yellowstone and we saw Mount Rushmore.
What about the pioneer people?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember the handcraft thing at all?
No.
That walk. I'm surprised you remember the trip. That's why.
Probably because we've mentioned it.
Yeah. What about going to grandma's or Disneyland?
It's not for
When did you go to Disneyland?
Keys Conference mission. And I was 8
Why was it fun?
because we went on a whole lot of rides and stuff.
Can't really use that because unless we want to hear you say, when did you go to Disneyland? She needs to say, oh, I like Disneyland. We have to. Does that make sense? Like you have to answer the question with the question and the answer. So they say, how old are you? I am 8 years old instead of 8. Because 8 is not really going to answer a question if they don't know the question. Does that make sense? So she says, what's your, I don't know.
When did you go? You say we went when
We went to Disneyland when I was. Yeah. So add more details so then, because we're not going to hear any of these voices except for you. So they need to know everything that you're thinking about, or else it's going to sound weird. So.
Okay. So we went to Disneyland when Keys Conference mission and I was 8 years old. Came home and we went on a whole lot of rides like Splash Mountain and stuff and Space Mountain, I think it's called.
Do you want to turn your chair like you're facing the camel? There you go. Yeah, she's.
Tell us about when you first learned to ride a bike.
Corbin started teaching me like for a while and then like
Teaching you what?
how to ride the bike or how to ride a bike and then like nobody would they would help me but then I kind of just wanted to try it by myself and I kept trying and I couldn't get it like for a long time and then I finally got it.
How did mom and dad help you?
They came outside with me and
Wait, who came outside?
mom and dad came outside and they would help me get on the bike and they would just lean the bike up against them and help me and stuff. And then I remember one time where it was Kim, mom, me, we went on a bike ride down the road and mom kept trying to help me get on the bike and like start going and stuff, except for I kept flying over and she started to get frustrated with me.
What's it like to be the baby of the family?
Good. You're as well though.
What's good?
So being the baby of the family is good because
Being baby of family is good because like you have your other brothers and sisters to help you a lot more and stuff and you can look up to them and so yeah.
What's some of the qualities that you admire in mom and dad?
I admire dad because he never like really gives up and stuff. And the qualities of mom that I like about her is probably because she helps a lot of people and she just like makes cookies to give to other people and stuff.
Anything else? Can you guys think of anything?
Do you have any funny moments with your mom?
Oh yeah, one time I was hiding in the living room and she was coming up the stairs and I scared her and she just screamed like really loud and she didn't jump or anything, so I thought that I didn't scare her because I thought she was just faking it. And then like she started laughing and then she's like, yeah, you really did scare me, and so like it made it all so hard she started crying. Oh.
What about your dad? What's a funny experience with your dad? Say a funny experience with my dad was when
Oh yeah, you're like a funny experience with my dad was when you're on the road. Well, you're driving, you're coming back from somewhere. I think that we were getting the sod. No, yeah, sod. And mom and I went and got these water yo-yos, and like when we were driving in the car, I like kind of pushed on the yo-yo and exploded all over my dad in his water and got him all wet. It's funny.
What do you remember about building the house?
Playing in the dirt?
Yeah,
I mean, she was pretty small, but I was just wondering.
I can't remember.
We haven't talked much about that. I think we need to.
Remember
Stop it.
like from hearing.
What was the cow stories they were telling you?
yeah, tell us those cow ones, the funny ones.
Okay. One time, Grandma and Grandpa Brinkerhoff were over, and Dad brought out Jersey into the backyard, and he told me to get on Jersey and set me on top of her, and then Grandpa came out and he had a camera with him and he took a picture of me on it, and it scared Jersey. She started running and I fell off and it really hurt. And then another time was when I think it was Ryan and Autumn that came over, and I was sitting on Jersey and Dad brought out some hay and stuff, so all the animals started running over, and Jersey did too, and I fell off her, and that hurt too.
Tell them about hiking Spanish Fork Peak and get your toes.
I had splash work. Okay. One time when I was hiking Splash Fork Peak, like it was like no, that's not okay. God, you guys. Okay. One time when I was hiking Mount Nebo, like it was a long ways up there, except for it seemed like way, 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 way longer going down. And it was way steep, but it like I wore tennis shoes that were too small, and since the mountain was so steep, my toenails rubbed against the bottom of my shoe, well, the front of my shoes, and it turned them black. And then both of them fell off, and it hurt when I ripped my left one off. And Dad lost, yeah, Dad also lost one.
Do you have any other memories about mom that you can remember?
Mm.
No? If not, I mean,
Do you want to say, you can look right into the cameras, just tell Mom and Dad how much you love them and say thank you. And
Thanks, Mom and Dad. Merry Christmas, happy anniversary. Thanks for all you've done. Okay.
do you want to go again?
James can do.
you're not looking.
You I'm not phone.
Alright, so we're gonna another one.
There's lots.
You want him this way?
Yeah.
Come back.
Come over here. Yeah, switch chairs and Kim can come over here.
moving two different directions.
We put it in this frame. We're gonna bend it.
It's not doing a whole lot anymore, so just don't worry.
Ready? Right. Another thing that I remember when I was little, we always had a really fun backyard.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Okay. Another thing that I remember when I was little, we always had this fun backyard where we could do a lot of things. We always had the sandbox and the treehouse, and then right next to it, we had this garden that was wonderful. We would go out and just eat these vegetables all the time. That's one thing I really love to, keep doing. And my parents taught me really well to really enjoy vegetables and have like good foods. But we had this garden, and we had put these cool paths through it, and we could go through. And on the one side next to the sandbox, there was this really tall, I think they're poplar trees. They were partially cut down, so it made really good spots, like stepping stones, kind of. We could build this, I don't know, we kind of had a playhouse. We had little rooms that were only one stump wide or whatever, but it was fun to go up in it. But right next to it was the shed where we had all these, we had pigeons in it and a bunch of other birds. And I remember helping my dad build those and feed them all the time. Sometimes it was a lot of work, but I think it was fun. I remember this one time I went out there and we had this Siamese cat.
Boy cat.
Boy cat, right? And this cat, well, he liked birds, of course. And I went out there and he had a pigeon right there with him, and I grabbed him and I held him down so tight on the ground because he wanted to claw me to death. But I was just holding him there, and he still had the bird in his hand. I had to get the bird out. The bird was basically okay when I finally got away, but I had to jump away quick so the cat wouldn't get me after that. But it was pretty amazing. And the other thing that I really liked is we had this huge cherry tree. It was a lot of fun to go up and play, and I think we played in it so much that all the middle part didn't have anything left growing in it. We built these forts all the way up and through it, and we'd go up there and we'd gorge ourselves in the cherries, even though they had worms in it. We kind of forgot about those, and now I try and eat worms with cherries in it, and I just don't like the idea much.
Worms with cherries in it?
I mean, cherries with worms in them. But another thing that I remember is, and that's a lot of stuff that we did in the summer. We'd always like to camp in our backyard and build tents out of PVC pipe and tarps, or even just put a tent, or just sleep out on the lawn. Go to the neighbor's house and sleep on the trampoline and things. Those were a lot of fun.
What about the bats?
Yeah, that's true. One thing I remember doing with my dad is we went next door to the neighbor's house. We laid on the ground, and the neighbors had the little vents kind of for their roof, and we would sit there on the lawn, and these bats would just dive out of there and fly out over the top of us. It was kind of a fun thing. We enjoyed that a lot. But one thing we always did in the wintertime was we loved to build things. And one year we built this really neat dinosaur. And our house, I don't know exactly, I think it must have didn't have the good insulation or whatever, but it always had this huge icicle. I mean, seriously, 2 or 3 feet long or whatever. And we used those to make this dinosaur have these nice big spikes down its back, and we spray painted it. Well, not spray paint, but we put colored water all over it. So it was a green dinosaur with the spikes. It looked really cool. But that was fun. Another thing is we lived on this street where we could see the parades go by all the time. And it was the neatest thing because in the summer, Pleasant Grove had their parades go by in the morning and at night, and we would just park out in our front yard. Didn't have to worry about driving anywhere. We could just run in and out of the house as we wanted to. And we got to watch the parades, and my dad was always there ready with the hose to spray the firemen when they came by. It's just the funniest thing. So, right, I need to some stories about mom.
I have a lot.
I have one more.
I feel like I kind of feel like I'm missing that part about it. One of the things that I remember we loved to do when we were kids is to go out in our front yard or even in the backyard, but we'd get a lot of the neighbor kids and we'd play these night games. It was a lot of fun, and often my mom would come out there, and especially when we were little, she'd give us ideas about what to play or what kind of animals to act out. We could get pretty silly sometimes, but she'd even join in occasionally, and we had a lot of fun doing that. Um, and yeah, okay. Another thing that I remember we did one time is I don't know exactly why we did it, but we got together, and I think it was just Kendall and Kimberly and I. We got together and made this dinner, uh, and just got this puppet show together in one of the rooms upstairs. We put up a stage and some screen. I don't remember all the details, but we got this fun thing together for our parents, and they were just really kind of excited about it, I thought. And we had a lot of fun doing little things like that occasionally. I think we learned that from my dad. He likes to do a lot of nice things like that. Another thing is my mom, she's always very careful to make sure that, we have basically what we want, what we need. She liked to take us out and do things. She always liked to be busy. We'd go and see movies, and she'd bring them and bring them home, and we did a lot of things like that so we could be out having fun together. She was always good about trying to get us to go out with friends and do things with them. So she'd, like maybe with the West, other people like that have her good friends too. We could be friends with and go out and play. And we went a lot of times to parks. We went a lot of times to Adventure Learning Park in Highland and go get lost in the maze and play on what we called the dinosaur, which really was just a ditch with cool rocks in it. A lot of fun to go down it. So, well, I think I'm finished.
Sure.
It wasn't really a dinosaur.
I thought it was in the shape of a
It
dinosaur.
was really just a ditch.
Yes. That's what we called it. We're like going down the throat of the dinosaur.
Now we're in the valley. Man, I always thought that was like at least in the shape of a dinosaur.
That's what I thought too.
Well, that's true. It went straight into the pond.
Because the rock.
When I first met Mom, Dad, Blunck, well, I don't remember meeting Dad, but I remember meeting Mom. Casey had brought me over to the house to watch movies and play games and stuff, and a whole bunch of the cousins were over there, Cindy, and as soon as I got there, everybody left. It was just weird. And then Mom comes out in her pajamas and wants to talk in the front room, and it went okay. It's less intimidating talking to somebody in their pajamas. Just knowing that they're vulnerable like that. What's also weird is that Casey met my mom in her pajamas too, so it's okay. It's about the same deal too. Talking after dates and yeah. That's kind of like, I like that openness and relaxedness, and they're not afraid to meet people in their pajamas, and they're not afraid, something they've never met, to tell the corniest story of, biffing it on the way home from work at the dinner table. And it's a lot of fun to be in the Blunck home because they're always laughing and having fun and picking on people in a nice way. And you make people feel at home. As soon as they walk in the door, you tease them and hug them and laugh with them and listen to their problems.
And you just kind of answered my next question.
What do you remember about them teaching you how to ride a bike?
Make it out, Kimberly.
Pick something up.
Well, Mom and Dad both taught me how to ride a bike. I think that's Kendall. Where's the neighbors?
Probably doing stuff.
Tell us about
The traits that you admire in Karen.
Stuff I like about Karen. Her house is just about always clean, and
I like how she has all these different holiday things. That's something that Casey got from her, is putting out holiday things, even for Halloween and Easter and all these different decorations. And he loves holidays because of his mom and all the cool stuff that you guys used to do together. And I like how she drops everything just so that we can take our car to the shop and she can give us a ride back and forth. And she's caring and just very understanding. She knows what it's like to be for college students. That's really nice. Very helpful, and it's nice to have her so close. See stuff about Dad, right? Stuff I liked about Dad. Funny, goofy. I like his stories. I even like the odd off-colored ones that make your mom go, Karl, or talk about something nice at the dinner table. But that's not appropriate. I just think that's so funny. And I like that he cares about animals. Until he has a really big heart because of his cows are fat and his animals are healthy, and he doesn't like it when the fox goes in and kills his pigeons, and you can tell that it touches him, but he's still, the tough rancher farmer guy, and he's not gonna let it show. But he's still out there building the cage to catch the silly things. He's always got a project going. Several. Yeah. Oh, something else I like about Dad is that he always gives me hugs when I go there. And my dad's starting to do that too now. I don't know. It's just something that the President Hinckley said at a priesthood conference or something weird, but yeah.
What are some attributes that you've noticed that you would like to pass on to your posterity?
So things about Mom and Dad that I want to pass on to my children. I think we're going to keep up with the holiday stuff. I really liked Christmas. My very first Christmas being married to Casey, and we all went out into the barn and sat on the hay and could talk about spiritual things as a family, and I really liked that. And I liked the atmosphere that they could make. And that was really touching to me. Other things, let's see. I like the fact that they will invite total strangers into their house and not be afraid of, what are they going to teach my kids? Are they going to be appropriate? Are they going to do all this other stuff? They don't worry about. Well, on the outside, they don't worry about that. I don't know what's going on the inside. But I always think that's neat. And I want my house to be open like their house is. And I like hearing the stories of Kim and her friends running down the hallway and pouncing the parents in the bed. And that just goes to show that they're not afraid to meet people in their pajamas. That's just, yeah. I like your parents, Casey.
What's a favorite memory, an event that happened, or something that you've been there to?
I liked camping with everybody. We all went up. Was it Spanish Fork Canyon? We were camping at Hall Creek. I don't know the difference, but that was a lot of fun. Being able to spend time and get to know everybody better and see how they react to each other. I like roasting hot dogs and stuff out in the backyard. Just, I want to say it's the burn pile. That's that's a my family terminology. It's just out there with the wood stumps and stuff. And that's always lots of fun. We sit around and watch a lot of movies together. I like that. Memorable things.
You're a lot better at this than we are.
No joke.
Well, look, I've had all these, well, they're saying
You've
this,
got
and they're
like
saying
2
that.
years worth, and you guys have your whole lives. So it's easy for us.
Yeah.
That's true. You guys,
But like I remember everything.
your memories are a lot more fresh.
Yes, we've got fresh air.
I think I should mention something about the house. I forgot about it.
You've already had 2 turns, Casey.
Casey, turn.
Did you want to say anything else? Or?
Just Mom and Dad Blunck, I want to thank you for raising a good son and being who you are and standing up for what you believe in. Thank you for accepting me and loving me as a daughter.
Should I?
Yes. Go. This is it. This is what we want.
I don't know. I just.
What do you mean? Mind if I go?
Sorry, cut the line.
Oh, I like to burn my tent. Oh wait. So another thing that I remember Dad teaching me is he's taught me a great respect for animals and for the land. Like I remember every time we go camping, like I remember when I grab branches or something, like you rip branches off a tree, like, hey, don't do that. That's not good. Was that tree doing anything to you? And like he's taught me a lot of respect for land and also that Indian teaches other respect for people and for their stuff, and I've learned a lot from that. Okay.
Okay.
Wait, turn your chair and look at Corbin.
Okay. I remember like Dad gave me advice on a lot of things. Like he gives me advice on stuff that I need to know about, like building stuff and cleaning up stuff and stuff. And Mom, she's taught me to accept others and like include other people who don't have friends, and yeah.
My turn.
Here, Casey. Good questions.
Oh, I want to go this way because this is my bad side. I'm ready for my close up.
Too close.
Okay, you can ask me the questions.
There you go, right there. Just the lips.
Oh, are we recording already?
Yeah. Too tall.
I'm ready.
Okay. What's your favorite childhood memory?
I have a lot of childhood memories that I really enjoy. Of course, a lot of the ones come from Pleasant Grove, and I just remember playing in the cherry tree and in the garden, especially. I don't remember so much about the sandbox and the treehouse as much as I do. I remember quite often us, Casey and Kendall and I, well, mainly Casey and Kendall because I was a girl and I didn't do this kind of stuff, but they would build zip lines from the cherry tree to the apple tree. And Corbin was always the one to be in the bucket. And he'd get down to the bottom and he'd fall out. And oftentimes he'd end up crying or something. But and then they would sometimes put a swimming pool down at the bottom. They'd slide down the swimming pool and put a hole in the swimming pool. And it was Corbin's swimming pool, and he'd get very upset and go crying to Mom and Dad. But I just remember, man, I've forgotten everything. Start asking me things, guys.
What's a memory of your mom?
Yeah.
Some of my favorite memories with my mom are just being with her. She taught me so many times growing up, she would always get on me and say that I walk like a boy. She said that I wasn't very feminine and things like that. And I am very grateful to her that she did that, because it has helped me to realize how important it is to be a lady and to act important. And I regret so much. She would always try and teach me how to cook and how to sew and to do laundry and things like that. And I just thought it was so dumb. But now, being married, I look back on it and I appreciate the times that I did listen. Yeah, it wasn't very often, and I'm sorry, but I just really I appreciate her, and she never gave up. She was always there. She always wanted to she if we ever needed to talk, she always knew when I needed to talk. She could tell if I came home from school and if I had had a bad day without me even saying anything. She would know to come in and talk to me. She was always there, and she just listened. She would never try to offer advice, which as a teenager, that advice isn't the best thing that you want in the world. But she would just listen, and it was just so nice to know that there was somebody there that would comfort you and love you when you needed it. And I just really appreciate her. And some of my favorite memories with my dad are so often especially when we moved out to Palmyra. I love to go at night, especially in the summer times, just go out and sit on the front porch. And, the family would be in watching TV or something, and then my dad would notice that I was missing, and he would come in and he would sit out on the front porch with me. And, if I was out there just reading a book or something, he would come out and he would just sit with me. He didn't ever have to say really anything to me. He would be there, and just sitting there with him on the front porch, just having his presence there. It was so nice to know that he was there, because he and I have always just kind of been, I don't know, I've always really thought of my dad as one of my best friends. I've just really appreciated all that they've done. They've always been there. And especially those times sitting out on the front porch, I always felt like I could talk to my dad. I know a lot of girls especially don't feel like they can talk to their dads, but my dad always made me feel like I could approach him at any time. And I really appreciated that, because especially as a teenager, there's a lot of dramas and you need someone to talk to, especially a guy, because and I really attribute my getting married at an early age to my father. Sorry, Dad. But because especially during my dating years, my brothers were on their missions and I didn't have anyone to really talk to for advice. And I remember, before they left on their missions, I would always talk to them about different things. But once they were gone, I just had my dad, and he gave me so much advice on dating and what guys liked and different things like that. And I think that because I talked to him, it kind of helped me to mature faster, I guess you could say. I don't know. But he would tell me, Kim, you can't do that. You can't do this. Guys don't like that. You shouldn't. You need to sit up straight. You need to do this. And in a very loving way, of course, but in the end, the end result was great. Okay, that's enough about that.
What's a funny memory with your parents?
Funny memories.
Like the fart machine and Susie and
Well, a funny memory that I have of my mom going along with the trip to Yellowstone and Mount Rushmore and everything. On the way to Mount Rushmore, my dad has always been one to want to stop and take pictures of signs because they're funny. And there was one that said, "Women escaping a violent environment." And my dad said, "Oh, you guys get out and we'll take a picture of you and Mom by the sign." And Mom was like, "No way. There's no way I'm going to get out. And I'm not going to take my picture by the sign. I'm not going to be humiliated like that." And of course, with a bunch of push from her kids, and very reluctantly, she got out, and we acted like we were running in front of the sign. And my dad took a picture, and it was just, my dad has always pushed her to do things that she normally wouldn't do. She's always been asked, or I guess you can kind of say forced to get out of her comfort zone and just be herself, or not be I don't know. Anyway, I remember times coming home after dates or after dances or something, and we'd always stop in the kitchen and we would talk. And first, I would get home, and then Kendall would get home, or Casey would get home, or something. We'd get home at different times, or sometimes it'd be at the same time, and we would just sit in the kitchen and just talk. We'd tell all of our experiences, and oftentimes it would lead to other things, of course, not of the date, but we'd end up talking till way late at night. One time, we even stayed up way past midnight. And
Really crazy.
really crazy, and no, but there was one time, this was after I had met Brad, of course, but I had moved back home before we got married, and Brad and I thought it was really funny to give my dad the fart machine, and I remember coming home and waking him up, telling him I was home, and then Kristen and I were sharing a room. And Kristen's bed was the first one to the door. And so I always had to go in and go around her bed to get to my bed. And I walked in and I kept hearing these really weird noises. I didn't know what they were. And I had to stand there and listen to it for a minute. And then Susie was laying at the end of Kristen's bed. And at first I thought it was Kristen, that she had really bad gas. And I realized it was Susie. I had to go in and I just, Dad, can cats have gas? And they both just started laughing really hard. And I kept going back, and it kind of scared me because I didn't know what it was. But then my dad started laughing too hard, and he totally gave it away, and I knew what it was, and we went in there and realized it, and yeah. And later that night, Kendall came home, and we kept him there, and he thought that Kristen had really bad gas, which is really funny. So,
What about the time when your mom was jumping on the trampoline and started laughing Peter Pants or something? Or
when you were mixing by hand.
Yeah, we need to talk about mixing by hand. Yeah, that goes along with your cooking stories.
well, my mom was always very good to try and teach me how to cook.
say that all over again. Sorry, I was missing.
That's okay.
Well, actually, maybe we should just switch tapes. We're at 0. Yeah,
Well, I'm not sitting very tall, very straight.
no, that's fine.
Okay.
Boy.
I'll get it.
That Kendall.
Oh,
You can have the find bag.
yes, come sit down. One thing, are you recording?
Yeah.
One thing that I really remember, especially at our new house, it'll always be considered new to me because we built it. While we were building it, we had, I don't remember whose cows they were. I think they were the neighbors' cows or something. But they would be on our property somewhere, and we discovered this wonderful little thing called the electric fence. And we had so much fun with that electric fence. We would just go out there, and when Uncle Dave would come over, we'd all hold hands, we'd make chains, and someone would touch the fence and go all the way through us. And those were really fun times. And I remember while we were building our house, my dad wanted to make the property look really nice and green. And my dad's always been very innovative as coming up with new inventions and things like that. And we had this old box spring mattress, and he tied it to the back of the truck, and we dubbed it the manure spreader. And the neighbors probably thought we were so weird before we moved in, but we would go out there, and my dad would just drive the truck up and down the property, and us kids would sit back on this box spring. I think we would put a crate or something on top of a pallet on top of it, and we also had a rope or something that we would hold on to, and I would sit down. I'd be right in the front, and Casey and Kendall would stand in the back, and sometimes Corbin would come get on. Kristen was too small. My mom wouldn't let her. But sitting down in the front, I remember I would always get the fresh ones because I was sitting right in the front. By the time we finished, I just felt like I was agreeing with manure just all over my face, and in case it was just fun.
What do you want to pass on to your kids? Some attributes.
I would really like to pass on to my children.
Yes.
No, I would like to pass on. They have been very there are so many things that I would like to pass on, but as they were both just very caring, very, very accepting. They've both always been very involved in our lives, and I would like to carry that on to my family. I would like to be involved with my children and stay up till late hours at night and wait for them and just be there for them to talk to, and I hope that I can pass on and incorporate into my marriage how loving they've always been. They've been, as has been mentioned before, they've been very accepting, and they just haven't judged people outwardly, and I've always appreciated that, just because they've always set an example. And if there was ever anybody that they did have negative feelings towards, they would say, "Oh, it doesn't matter. You don't really need to know about that." And they would kind of keep us kids in the dark, which I thought was great, because I'm sure there's stories that I didn't want to know. But I just really hope that I can pass on just their caring nature and the love that they have for life and for everybody, and just the good-natured people that they are. And they both really helped me to gain my testimony. I remember when my brothers left on their missions, I went through times where I would just struggle because I didn't have my brothers there to talk to or to listen to me. And my dad and my mom especially, they'd both just come in and talk to me and talk to me of things of the gospel that really, really helped me. I think I remember these are bad.
What about some birthdays?
I'm gonna finish this memory.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
That's fine.
But I remember, dang it, I lost my train. God, gosh.
It's right.
Oh,
Doesn't take much.
I remember they would come in and they would talk to me, and they would always incorporate the gospel into it. They'd always, my dad had a scripture for everything. If I ever thought about cutting my hair, he'd bring in the scripture about how the woman's hair is her crown and glory, and everything was always related to the gospel, and it helped me. Growing up, I always leaned on their testimony, and when we were children, I remember for family home evenings and everything, we would stand, we would practice. What do you need? Steal the bottom of the stairs. But I remember when we were children, before they would let us go up on stand to bear our testimony, we would for family home evening, we had this the TV stand, I guess you could say. We would stand in front of it and pretend like we were in sacrament meeting, and we would bear our testimonies, and they just always taught us to not be afraid to share the gospel and everything related to the gospel. And I just really appreciate that. And birthdays, I feel like I'm talking forever. But here's one thing I want to say, which I think we should go back to and get, well, the ones that would remember. So you and Kendall, so just you.
That remembers?
Mm-hmm. Because Caitlin's very much part of our family.
Oh,
and
I said we're members.
I remember too. Some of the memories that I have of Caitlin, I just remember that she loved the bath time. I remember that she would just get in there. My mom would take her and she would just splash in the water. And I remember, that was me. And I remember hearing, when Caitlin passed away, I remember my mom had come up to tuck us all in bed. And then, that's all that I really remember of that day. I just remember hearing stories that she had gone back down and Caitlin wasn't breathing. And I just remember the after events. I just remember I didn't want to leave my family. I didn't want to leave my mom. I would always cry when we'd go to school, and Casey and Kendall probably thought I was the biggest baby because I didn't want to leave my mom. I was afraid that if I left, I would never come back, and I didn't want to go play with my friends just because I was afraid that I wouldn't come back. But
That's changed it all.
my parents helped me to just reach out and grow, and and to not be afraid of things like that, as death is just a portal we go through. Okay.
Just finish. Do your little.
Thanks.
I love you.
I am too. Really grateful. Trailer. I need my trailer. Okay. No more thing. Yeah, I'm sorry. I would like to thank you for raising us the way that you have, and for helping us to be the kind of people that we have been. I know that us kids would not be who we are today if it were not for you. And I just want to let you know how much I love you and appreciate you. And I'm so grateful that we can be a family, and that we can have fun together, and that we can just be zany people together. And I love you guys, and I love you so much. Kendall, it's your turn.
Well, I don't know what we're doing.
Sit down and we'll ask you questions.
Just spill your guts.
Is this just for mom and dad then?
What if I want to do it?
Just start talking about memories.
What's one of your funniest memories about your mom?
Are we ready to go?
Yeah. Talk to Kim.
My funniest memory with my mom?
Your parents were laughing so hard or something.
Oh, she does that all the time still. Well, Kim and Brad and Casey and Amy, Kristen and Corbin, they all asked me to come here today because they want me to share memories. I didn't really have a good memorable childhood, so I don't really want to share it. It brings up too many hard memories. I'm just kidding. No, it's good. I'm joking. But I guess some memories that I have. Really good. It's my dash and good looks. I don't really attribute that to dad, but mom, it works out pretty well. Okay, memory as a little kid, I guess, huh? So I'm not really sure what everybody else has shared.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, I guess.
That's for the best.
That's one of the best, huh? Okay. Well, I remember one time Dad was mad at me, surprise. I got mad at him one time. It wasn't bad. I'm kidding, Dad. I'm glad you got mad at me all the time. And then Kimberly and Casey and I made up a little chant. It was my favorite. How is it? Who's the one that gets mad? It's Dad. That was my favorite one. Because it was true, Dad. You know, Mom, she's a pushover. She's a way pushover. But Dad, yeah, when he came home, we knew we were in trouble. So we had to watch out. And here's one of my more favorite memories, I guess. I guess just being together as a family with Daddy and Mommy. And we used to hang out and do stuff together and play. He used to wait up for me every night. And I'm sure I was your favorite child in high school, right? All right. Well, here's my favorite memory about Mom. It's kind of a good story. I remember when I was getting ready to go on a mission, Mom used to. I was back in high school, and I remember that I was working every day, and I was going to school, and you know, Mom was always she wasn't always complaining, but she complained sometimes a little bit. And she said, she's like, Kendall, I do all your laundry, I do all your cooking. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. You guys never help me do any laundry, never help me do any cooking ever. And I was like, what? All right. So I started doing my own laundry. I started, coming home at 10 o'clock at night after I was done with work and, making my own food or, reheating stuff. And it was good. But I remember once I started doing my own stuff, you always said to me, Kendall, you never have to do the laundry, you never have to do dishes. And then I started doing it. They're like, Kendall, let me be your mommy. Why can't you do your laundry? Why can't I do your dishes? I was like, what the heck do you want from me? So I don't know. But I loved it because you always want to be my mom and you always wanted to make me happy and you guys did a great job. That's why I'm getting that today, I guess. And I just want to tell you guys thank you for...
What's a funny memory with your dad?
A funny memory with my dad?
We were told about family vacations, about doing
Dad?
some pleasant work.
Well, the thing about that is you got too many funny jokes, Dad. I can't even remember some of them. They're so funny. Most of the jokes. Yeah, not really that funny, Dad, actually. I got some dumb humor too, Dad. Don't worry about it. I got that humor passed on to me. Thank goodness. Now I'm got it with the ladies now. Thanks. Well, Dad, I got a lot of funny memories. I just remember my my booty hurt a little bit because wooden spoon broke a couple times, and that was pretty funny. It just made it laugh harder, so it really didn't do much for me either. So I don't know why I thought it was fun, but those were good memories too. I just remember you let me drive the Volkswagen around when I was a little kid. It was fun. That's about it. Yeah. No, thanks, Dad. I just can't. But as far as
We're camping with them.
camping,
Father and sons.
I just remember one of the times we went riding up in the tractor barrel. That was fun.
Well,
We went to Father and Sons. We drove up in the tractor all day long. That was awesome. With Zach, we hung out, chilled. It was good, and played around. But I don't know.
what about like when you learned how to ride a bike?
When I ride a bike, I remember Grandpa sent us some BMX bikes. Those were cool. We got some cool BMX bikes from Grandpa. And we got to ride them around all the time. And I fell and hurt myself a lot. But no, I could have a car and wrecked the truck a couple times and snowbanks and stuff. I'm sure you enjoyed that. And Corbin's coming up because I'm sure he'll be the next one to do that. So you can tell. But I don't have really a lot of memories about camping for some reason. I can't think of one now, but I'm sure we did a lot.
Tell us about breaking windows.
Breaking windows. I don't know what you're talking about. I have more to talking about. So next question.
What about that people?
Mount Nebo, that was good. Taffy came with us. That was nice.
Poor Taffy.
Just kidding.
Tell us about Buffy.
Buffy. Mom was chopping up hamburger on the stove. All I remember was I came in. Mom was chopping up hamburger. I'm like, "Where's Buffy?" And she's like, like this in the stove, and she has glaze look in her eyes. I'm like, "What the heck happened to Buffy?" So I remember she was there one day, and the next day she was gone. I really didn't understand why she was gone, and then I was like, she just told me Buffy was gone. I was sad, but Buffy was the best dog. I'm glad we've always had animals at our house. Sincerely, I think it's great that. I think that we're such a strong family because you guys really tried to unite us and raise us in the gospel, and basically, I think that we're all the way we are because of you guys. I know that I'm like. I don't know, Alyssa sees me cry too much sometimes, and I'm kind of a pansy sometimes, so I move a little bit. That's probably because I'm alone. And I laugh, I have to go to the bathroom, but it's probably because I'm alone. And then there's Dad. And so Dad, I got the corny jokes, and I know I'm a hard worker because of you. Like I know like a lot of things I can tell, like from how you were. Mom says I'm a lot like you, and I can tell that I'm a lot like you. That's something I don't really care about. That's cool. But like I don't care. Like Mom says, I don't want to be like my mom. Or Dad says, I want to be like my dad. And no, Kim says, I want to be like Mommy. She does. She says all the time, Mom, just all the time. So
It's lies.
so I want to be like you guys. So I'm for real. I don't even care. You guys are awesome because if you look around, everyone sees us around, and everyone, they look at us like, wow, we're a great family, except for Casey. Like, Casey's kind of like the outcast, but we love him. And, we are a good family. And I don't care if I'm like you guys. I hope to be like you guys, actually. I aspire to. So I'm great. I'm thankful for the ambition, and I'm thankful that I'm, raised in the gospel and have a happy life now because of you guys. So I really want to thank you guys, and I love you. And is that all? Good.
I remember one thing.
What about when you're learning how to ride your bike?
But turn the chair around. Another.
Was it? That's what you can remember?
Yeah, you gotta tell about
I can't remember right now.
Yeah, Kendall, we have to have you talk about when you first learned to ride a bike.
What?
I just would say so that was I won't forget. I'm sorry.
I'll talk last way.
Hair.
Okay.
Okay.
One good memory that I have, there was a complete testimony builder for me. It was the first time probably that I ever really remember seeing my dad cry. It was when we were beginning to go through the process of building our house out in Palmyra, and they had purchased this plot of land, and they were so excited because we were going to go out and build a house on it and everything. But for some reason or another, the land was too dry or too wet or something like that, and the water content was just not good for us to be able to build a house. And I remember my dad would go out on Saturdays, and he would just work and work and work. And I remember particularly one Saturday he came back and he told us of a story of what had happened. He was out there, and I guess you had to dig holes and pour water in it and see how fast the water would leave the hole. And he had done that in so many different places, and the water just sat there. It would not drain from this hole. And my dad walked back to the back of the property or somewhere, and he prayed. And he felt inspired to go to to a certain place. And he went to that place, and he dug a hole, and went and got a bucket of water, and he poured it in it, and it just was gone. It just drained. And he went and got another bucket, and he poured it in the hole, and it drained again. And he just could not believe it. And he was just so excited. And I don't know exactly what happened then, but I remember he came home, and he was telling us about this. And as he was telling the story, he just wept. I remember he was just so excited because this is what he'd been wanting for so long, and Heavenly Father was really blessing our family, and it was just really, really a neat experience. Kendall, I want your bike riding story.
What do you mean? Did you tell your bike race?
No.
What do you mean? We didn't hear a bad biking story.
I guys was
Everybody's hold it.
Yeah.
What?
Just
Like how your dad helped you and your mom was like,
I don't remember.
okay.
I remember when I first learned to ride a bike. For some reason, I don't remember going to the church as much, but I remember going down to the bank a lot. And I remember they would always. I had the cutest bike. They got me a bike that was pink and it had tassels and it had the basket on front, and I got it for my birthday. It was the same birthday that my dad shaved his mustache for the first time. It was really weird because I'd never seen him without a mustache.
Got a seat.
But so we went down to this bank, and we would they would always. My mom would kind of. She would hold on to the back of the seat. She would run with us, and I remember my dad. He was busy helping or riding bikes with Casey and Kendall and things. But they would always hold the back of my seat and just run with me. And I remember seeing my dad, and he would just, you're doing a great job. And he was always very encouraging, he would just lead us on, and it was great. But probably what I remember the most is when Dad taught me how to drive a stick. I remember particularly one time he was taking me to driver's ed in the truck, and
You forgot your shoes.
oh, I could tell that too. But I remember this one time he was taking me to driver's ed. I'm still very new on a stick, but he made me drive. And it was early in the morning. I don't think anybody else was awake. And he had a cereal with him, which is a bad idea when you're driving a stick. And we got to this corner, and I started doing this really, really bad. And the cereal went all over his lap, and his hat flipped into the back seat, and it was kind of sad. And then there was this other time, my dad would always take us to, my mom would always get up early, and she would always make us breakfast before school and everything. And then my dad would, on his way to work, he'd take us to the bus stop. And oftentimes we would be pretty late, and he'd have to flash the bus and just to let him know that we were coming. And this one time, we were at the bus stop pretty much, and I was going to get out of the truck, and then I realized I had forgotten my shoes. I couldn't believe it, and I just stopped and I go, oh, I forgot my shoes. And my dad just, because it was,
How can you forget your shoes?
I don't know how you can forget your shoes. But anyway, so we had to turn around and take me back, and my mom ended up having to take me to school that day, and she was and this is a lesson they always taught me. Never, ever go
Mixed
anywhere
bag.
in the car in your pajamas. And my mom was always very good about that. She'd always get dressed and she'd take us to school. And now it's Kendall's turn to tell about his bike.
What do you mean on a bike?
Just because it's a standard story we've all been telling.
How you learned how, like,
What? And then Brad,
how you learned how to ride your bike? Never heard that. You where you go?
No.
These guys are holding their own six. All right. Well, I was riding my bike one day, and I went on the street, and my dad came running behind me and said, "Man, you're doing a great job." It was good. Casey and I went down to the bay, checked in the money we had. We had a bank account. Casey was faster than the bike, but I caught up pretty quick. He's pretty smart. So Casey now is going to be better, but Casey always won. So I'm just trying to catch up today. But why are you looking like that? Oh my gosh, he's mad. He's mad. It's all right.
Do you remember anything about Caitlin?
Yeah, a little bit. I just remember when she came home, she was there, and I just remember like all the turmoil that happened with that. That's probably one of the things that affected my life quite a bit, because I know there was a lot of turmoil, and I didn't really understand like what was going on. Like, I remember like it was fun to ride in the limousines. I'm like, wow, we thought we were hot stuff, but that probably wasn't the right attitude. But give me a break. I was like, what, 5? I don't know how old I was. 8? How old was I?
I was 4, 3.5.
So I was like 5 or 6. 6. It's like Kristen's age. Shoot. I'm just kidding. No, I had another story I can tell too. I don't know. I just remember Dad and his great stories, because Dad and I had a lot of conversations. But you loved giving me conversations, Dad, huh? I remember we'd always have conversations about tact. You remember that too? Okay, we all know the story about tact, Dad. Kendall got in trouble again. I got in trouble again. And so apparently I said something out of context or something I shouldn't have said, and it wasn't tactful. And Dad's like, hey, you know about tact? I'm like, what the heck is a tact for? I'm like, you want to sit on it, plug it, and put it in the wall and hold the piece of paper up? I'm like, tact? What the heck are you talking about? I don't think it registered what you were trying to say, Dad, until probably a couple of years later. Oh, tact. Right. This way. Dad held up a ruler. Had a ruler and had like stuff inside. And I'm like, great object lesson, Dad. I had no idea what you're talking about. Sweet. Teeter totter? I don't know if Casey got it either. Casey's a smart kid, so.
What did you say about the ruler? I don't remember.
I don't know. He just had a ruler. And he can't, it's got to be balanced. It's got to be balanced. It's got to be balanced.
And toilet paper too.
Oh yeah, and Dad's like, brush his teeth. It's foaming already. And he's like brushing his teeth. Remember that? He had a pea size. I just remember this. Dad was like being way weird and like we're like way frugal this year. And Dad's like trying to save money in toothpaste. Only a pea size amount of toothpaste on the toothbrush. This kid would come in.
Make them toothpaste freaks.
Yeah, and so Dad's like, come on, guys, save money here. And a pea size amount. He's like, oh, look at it, it's foaming already. And just brush our teeth for hours. That was a good FHE activity. And then we had, and then we saved 1 square of toilet paper we're supposed to use. So 2 squares at the most. And I didn't get that because it just didn't work out for me. So I don't know. Those are great conversations though. And you know, you guys always manage to make things right. I mean, I don't really know honestly how the situations were when we were little kids. Like you guys always made it seem sometimes like we were real tight with money, but I never really seemed like we were. We always had a lot of food. We always had a great Christmas every year. Like I remember one year you guys said like, well, Santa might not give us a lot for Christmas this year. You guys might get a can of beans or something. I don't remember, but something to that extent. I love the oranges and the apples in the stocking, by the way. I've learned since that's just a filler. Nothing sad. It's true. So I just remember that that Christmas, you guys said it would be kind of a meager Christmas, and we had probably the best Christmas ever. I just remember we got bikes, like mountain bikes, I think it was. We got like sled and skis and like the whole world. Like I can't remember. It was awesome. it was awesome. And I don't know, I have a lot of good memories. I remember landscaping was pretty fun. I remember doing that. That was cool. Case trying to do the tractor and got like 2 rocks. That's really funny. Sorry, but that was funny. We just had a lot of fun. You guys always made us feel our best. Always got a positive attitude and a lot of good stories.
What about putting the ping pong table together at Christmas?
Oh yeah, that was when you guys finally broke to us. Simon wasn't really. They made us come help. I'm like, oh, sweet.
You got to tell what you're talking about because that's my part's not going to be there. Just you.
Well, I remember we had to set up the ping pong table one night for Christmas, and Corbin and Chris were young, and Kimberly was still young too. So we had to set up the ping pong table for her because she thought Santa still exists. They do. Santa still exists, Corbin and Kristen. But Casey, Dad's like, you guys need to help me because I can't carry this myself. And at first, it's like, whatever, Dad, whatever, because Dad doesn't need help with anything. He's a pretty good guy. I'm not the same way too. I really don't need help, but you know what, Dad, I know you do because of that. So anyway, we had to set up the ping pong table, carry it upstairs, put it together. That was great. We put it together, and Casey and I played ping pong for a while in the middle of the night, and we were Santa Claus, and we were singing. And we ate cookies. That was good. Remember eating cookies, Casey? He said yes, he does. Well, what? No, Dad, I think you're a great guy too. I really do. Yeah, that's cool. Anyway, I think that's all the questions you guys have for me, huh?
What are your memories of building your house?
I just remember riding in the back of Dwayne's truck. I hated that. On the freeway, and I was so mad. That wasn't funny at all. But I remember not liking it too much sometimes because I was a lazy kid. And but then, like, I have a lot of skills now because of it. Like, I know I can do, like I honestly, like, I'm not afraid to do anything at all. Like, I know I can do anything. And that's just, something I know, like, because Dad, I can't believe you did the whole house by yourself, practically by yourself. You crazy guy. You're crazy. Some of the stuff you do, crazy Karl. Anyway, I like being a farmer now. I used to not like being a farmer, out there with the hose and, digging the ground and stuff and, the wheat, the berries. I don't know. I don't know. Certainly no one else remembers the berries, Dad. I don't know what happened, but it's probably just between you and me, buddy. So I just remember when we first moved out there, I didn't like it all. It was a really hard time for me. And I just remember not wanting to be there in the middle of nowhere. Now I love it. It's great. I live in Palmyra anytime. And yes, I call it Spanish Fark, but it is Palmyra. I'm glad. My name's Kendall. And not Kendall, it's Kindle. Like the 5. Huh? Like my dad, you call me my dad. You're my dad. And I like how you say, I named you. I can call you whatever I want. You do. What are you calling me? What do you call me when you're sleeping or something? I don't know. It makes me wonder. Kindle? Yeah, your wrath was kindled. I know. But yep, that's my memories.
What are some attributes that you've noticed in mom and dad, maybe in their marriage together, that you would like to pass on to your family?
Pass on.
You're gonna pass on.
Pass on, huh? Yeah, we do choose your rest home, so it's kind of like, a memory you guys can have for us. So anyway, attributes in your guys' marriage. I remember when I started dating my girlfriend, and I just remember that I came outside from my apartment one day, and I was walking downstairs with one of my other friends, and she's like, she's just talking to me, and you guys are suddenly meet us up on the sidewalk. I remember, and you guys were holding hands and just being all cute and stuff, and like I I noticed it because you guys were cute together, and then I remember I get in the car with her after talking to you guys, and she's like, Kendall, your parents, they're so cute. They're still romantic. They're still in love. They still hold hands. You guys are holding hands and stuff, and we're not mushy and stuff. And I really didn't know, I really don't notice it because you guys are just normal like that. But it's true. You guys are. You guys are great. You're a great couple. Have a strong marriage. And Dad's good looking. Mom's good looking. Money, please. Just kidding. But yeah, that's all my memories. All of them. All of them. Any more questions? These questions.
I think it's your turn, Brad. Recording. Okay, so tell me.
How do I sound? How do I look? Is that the right eyeline right there?
Wait, no, hang on. The pictures. Look at me. I like that better. Okay, tell me about tell me the situation, how it was when you first met my parents.
I first met Karen when it was cleaning checks on a Saturday morning, and I was sweeping in my pajamas downstairs. I was sweeping the kitchen floor, and Kim brings her mom over, and I start sweeping. I'm like, oh dang it, I'm in my pajamas. So I start backing over into the bathroom area and just kind of hiding. And it was kind of embarrassing, obviously, because it was the girl that I liked, her mom. And I didn't really talk to her for a whole lot. It seemed like Kim just brought her over to check me out or something. She probably thought I was a nerd. So that's how I met Karen. I met Karl. Well, the first time I had any interaction with Karl was my brother and I were apparently Kim was doing some activity with a bunch of her friends, and they were going to go somewhere, and we thought that they were going to be at the Blunck. So my brother and I drove around all over the place looking for this address, had no idea where it was. We got all the way deep into Spanish Fork. We're like, whatever, let's just go to Uncle Buddy's and maybe he knows. We go up there and he sort of knew. And then they're like, well, it's pretty late now. Maybe we'll just call. So we checked in the phone book, found Blunck. There was only one. And called, and Karl picks up the phone, and I'm just like, hey, is Kim there? And he's like, no, Kim hasn't lived here for a while. I was like, whoa. And just my impression of him was some big fat greasy guy, you know, with a big mustache and a beard, kind of mean looking or something. So I was kind of like, oh, well, all right, have fun. But that first time I actually met both of them was Kim brought me over one night. It was around October, I think, maybe August, something like September or something. Anyway, I had brought flowers for Karen because Grandpa Brinkerhoff had just passed away, and I brought some root beer. And so I put the root beer in the fridge or something, and your dad said, oh, that's a good first impression, bringing the beer over or something like that. So that was the first time I met the Bluncks.
What else do I want to ask? What's one of your favorite memories with my parents?
Well, one thing that I remember is obviously I would go over and try to help Karl with the pond and got really excited about that and go catch tadpoles and fish, and it was just fun to go play. I love little animals, little teeny animals. Don't really get into the cows and emus that much, but the little reptiles and stuff. Like I brought a snake, and apparently it ate some of the tadpoles.
What was its name?
I have no idea.
Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake. So that would be a memory. Just building the pond with Karl. That was fun. What's one thing? Oh, another memory that I have with Karl that's kind of funny is I was going to call and, I wanted to ask Karl, I wanted to ask if I could marry Kimberly. And so I called up and I was like, oh, is Kendall there? Because I knew if I talked to Kendall, maybe I could loosen up. You know, I wasn't ready to call Karl straight up. So I called Kendall and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he's just like, hey. And I think he started getting the drift of what I was wanting to do. And so I was like, well, I want to talk to your dad. And he's like, oh, okay. And so that was pretty nerve-wracking. And eventually your dad got on the line, and I was like, "Hey, can I come and talk to you for a bit? Do you need any help or something?" Or he was working on a car, and I said, "Well, I'll come over and help you work on the car or something." And so I went over and just talked to Kendall and Karl were there, and so I was just talking to him for a bit, and Carl's like, "Well, let's go work on the car." And I was like, "Okay." And so I went down into the garage thinking that we were going to actually work on the car. And I walk in, and there's 2 chairs sitting there. And he's like, "All right, sit down." I'm like, "But we're not going to work on the car." He's like, "No, I know you're here." And so he just sits me down. We have that talk. So that was a good memory. Also with Karl, just asking, telling him that I wanted to marry his daughter, the most beautiful girl in the world, of course. And
Why was this? What did you think when he had the 2 chairs set up?
when he had the 2 chairs set up, I was really nervous. Well, obviously, because I was going to ask to marry his daughter, and I'd never done that before. And it was totally out of the blue because I totally expected to go help him work on the car, and then I'd bring it up. I didn't really know that he knew, but obviously he knew, and he knew what I was going there for. And so one thing I really like about Karen, or Mom, is like there's tons of times when we'll just go over for dinner. We'll just happen to show up, like we're in the area doing something, and Kim's like, "Oh, let's just go to my parents' house." And it's about dinner time, and I know Kim just wants to go over for dinner. And so we go for dinner, and she's always there. She'll always put out a plate for us, like we're little homeless people. It's so great and really nice. Also makes great food. I don't know, it's just a really happy home, a fun atmosphere. Carl's always cracking jokes. There's always something funny going on, and I can really get into that.
What qualities, what attributes would you like to incorporate or pass on to your posterity?
With Karl, like he always will really. With Karl, he really works. With Karl, he really works hard, and I love going out and helping him, but a lot of times he won't help me, and so I don't think I'm going to pass that on. I think he's too stubborn when it comes to letting me help him, and so you need to let me help you. You need to let me help you. So, but he's really got a good work ethic, and I really admire that about him. And another thing I like about Karl is, even though a lot of times he goofs around, he's really got a strong spiritual nature about him. You can, like when you get him talking about spiritual things, he can go really in depth, and he's got the spirit with him. So that's really admirable. He puts up with a lot. I can tell a lot of times he'll do stuff that he probably wouldn't do. He doesn't necessarily want to do it, but he's going to do it because out of love, serving people. Like there's this handicapped guy that lives in a handicapped place.
Harold.
Yeah, Harold. And he always, I guess, calls up and asks for a blessing, and Karl will just drop everything and go. And I went with him once, and that was a good experience. And Karen's really fun. Like one of my favorite memories with Karen is when we went to go play basketball in the chapel. I love playing basketball, so if you guys can get us into the chapel more, that'd be great. But I just remember playing with the whole family. It was so fun. Everyone had a fun time. I think Kristen fell and hurt her knee or something, but I just remember just the unity. There's always that family unity. Everyone always gets together and has dinner pretty much. So I really like that she wants to keep the family together. Even though I want to take Kimberly off to Australia, she really wants us to stay here in Utah County so we can stay nearby. And I understand, but I also promised Kimberly that I'd take her around the world before she's 30, and so I need to start on that pretty soon.
9 years.
Wow. What are we at? How much tape do we have left?
I don't know. What are these?
Zebra patterning. And I just wanted to let Kimberly know that I love her very much. She's probably the most beautiful girl in the world. And she's fun to be with. And I don't know. It's ever since I saw her, I just knew that I wanted to hang out with her every day. And I don't think there's been a day since pretty much August of 2001, maybe September, that I haven't seen her. So it's been really good. Maybe one day out of 2.5 years.
Okay. I think that's pretty much it.
Well, Mom and Dad, Blunck, I just want to let you guys know that I love you very much. You guys are very generous to me. I'm glad that I could marry Kimberly. Grateful that you guys accept me. I'm not like this huge nerd, even though you guys make me work on the computer, but I totally understand because I'm the one that wrecked your computer in the first place. But it's just been fun getting to know you guys. Hopefully the memories will continue going on throughout the eternities. We'll just be creating worlds in our little sector, and we'll come visit you guys every once in a while in the Celestial Kingdom in your own part of the galaxy. And we can share worlds every once in a while, and that'll be fun. And our your grandkids that we'll raise will come over and have fun. I know that Karl wants grandkids, and Karen probably wants them. They just don't come out as often as tell us. Give me an end.
No. Tell them why you're thankful for me.
I'm really grateful that I'm married to your daughter. Like a long time ago when I was in California visiting my grandparents, like when I was 8, I had this weird dream that I was going to marry this redheaded girl. I only saw the back of her head. When she turned around, I woke up. But when I met Kimberly, I was thinking in my mind, maybe this is the girl. Well, now I know that it was. And she's your daughter, and she's really awesome. I love her very much.
How have they raised me?
I really respect how you've raised Kimberly. You've raised her in the gospel. That's really important, obviously. She's really got a missionary spirit, even though she didn't necessarily serve a full-time mission. She really goes out of her way to help people, and I can see that she got that from you too, as you guys will always help people. I'm also following Karl's footsteps and trying to lose a little bit. I'll have my comb over in a couple of years. I'm just kidding.
Tell us about when they first taught you how to ride a bike.
I remember back in 1967. I remember when I was 5 and Karl had got me a new bike. And Karen's like, okay, well, let's go out and teach him. I don't know if he's going to be able to learn. I had already put a couple dents in my helmet. I had to go ride the short bus, so.
Wait, do that again without smiling?
Why?
Because that'd be really good. Drinking is serious. Start with I had already put a couple dents.
I think I was about 5 when Mom and Dad first taught me to ride a bike. Karl had gotten me. It's really fancy. Like it's kind of one of those ones where you like pedal with your feet. It was plastic and it was like a Batman bike or something like that. And they had just come to the bus stop and picked me up from the short bus, and they already bought me a helmet for my birthday the year before. And I had put a couple dents in it, but that's not for my bike riding experience. But anyway, Karl would push me in the little bike thing, or tricycle, I guess. I never was able to ride on 2 wheels. They always had to keep me on 3 wheels, but kind of embarrassing. And no, that's stupid.
Make up a story. What are some of the jokes of my family?
I remember in Karl.
Where's your nerd glasses?
I have no idea.
Do your little. Do your lip.
There's a time when should I? You're not gonna put it in the special features then, or during the credits.
We'll do outtakes.
There's a time when me and Karl went fishing. Really fun. We caught little worms. Some people call them narcotics.
We call them worms. We went to fishing. I caught a walleye. He caught a bass. I can't do it.
Keep going.
I'm just footlight flashing. Trying to go crying.
But look at the camera.
I remember me and Carvin. I remember me and Corbin went over to hang out with Chuck. Chuck and I would go in the fishing pond, try to scoot up the little fishies with the little nets. We love this fishing. I love tadpoles. Don't. Karl went with me one time to get tadpoles. It's really fun. Got little tails on them. They're really squishy too. Really squishy. There's the time Karl and Karen picked me up from the short bus. I don't think Karen was too excited to have her daughter married.
Look at the camera cross-eyed.
Well, hold on. Karl was pretty excited about having me marry the daughter, Kimberly. I don't think Karen was so excited that. She thought it was kind of different. It's not that funny, is it?
Oh, I'm crying.
I think the first date with Kimberly, she ran away. And he's like one little spot with a white flash or something. I think Karen just saw me as free labor to work outside and help Karl.
Look straight into the camera and go. And just hold it for a little while.
Hi. There's a time Kristen threw the cat at me. I caught it. Its claws were out. That's why I got the scars. It's easy. No, that was stupid.
What about Casey? Do something with Kendall.
I first
Get
met
up a little taller.
Kendall on the short bus on the way to school.
What were you guys doing on the short bus?
Kendall took my helmet, put a big dent in it. Thought he was really cool. Wasn't really cool for me. Wasn't cool at all, actually.
When did you first meet Casey?
When I first met Casey, I was in dance class with him. Some ballroom dance class with him. I don't think I liked me at the first. Thought I was kind of cool and talked with an Australian accent because I just come from Sydney. That's where Karl he went to Brisbane. That's it.
Can I do some?
What are you gonna do? Ow! That's my tears.
Okay.
Oh, go back in. It's in me. Oh, I get it.
Just talk to the light switch.
I'm not saying.
Just be like, I remember mom and dad were.
Right, stop recording it for a minute. I don't know what to say.
We're pregnant. You guys want grandkids?
It's going.
Ah! Oh, oh, you guys must be here for the special features. The UPS special features, I suppose. Well, we won't go into detail about this one. We'll go on to that later. Okay, first off, we went into the box, and the box you have no idea. It was like a tornado went through it. Nothing personal, but yeah, that's why I went through and fixed a bunch of stuff. This picture, I guess, from the story had got water in between the glass and stuff, and so there was glass attached to it, and we tried to extract the glass, and we're like, oh man, it's irrecoverable. There's no way we're going to get this detail out of there. So we're still thinking there's got to be a way we can restore it. And in digging through the other stuff, we found a tiny little like 2x3 picture. So we have these two to work from. This one's got nice detail if you look right close, but it's got little white dots on under Karl's nose. It's like he had a booger or something. And then this one has very little detail because it's so small. But what I did was I scanned both of them in. I scanned this one in at 1200 DPI and this one in at 600 DPI. And this is what happened. Okay, so I brought them into Photoshop. So I've got these two files. I've got this one is the smaller one, 1200 DPI. And here's that one, the big one. And since we don't have a whole lot of this information down at the bottom here, because it's all garbage, I figured I just crop that part out. Sorry. So what I do is I figured out if I change the image size of this one and change it to 292 dots per inch for the big one, takes a little while for it to load. Sorry about that. That will match exactly the size of the small picture that I scanned in at 1200 DPI. So after the computer has a time to think, grab this and I drag this over into this. And then if I set the opacity so I can see what I'm working with, it shows me so I've got 50% of the top one. So then I can come in here and I can match it up and make a perfect match so I can know that I'm working with something that's going to work. So right now they're not really the same, but I drag it down and then I can move it down by pixels and move it over. And that's pretty good right there. And so now we have this information, all this information that we lost in that other one is there. Like we have the buttons and stuff. We have her arm. We have the box. We have the leg. We have Kristen's legs. We have Kendall. And so what we can do now is we can take this eraser, crank it up to like 300 or something in the fuzzy. Maybe 200 is good. Crank it in 200 in the fuzzy, and we can watch and see how we can restore back to the original and bring it back almost just like we're painting the picture again. Like we were there, had an original copy. We can paint over and fix all these little orange specks. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but as we fix it, it's just like we're painting it back in, restoring the picture just by using the erase tool in Photoshop. Boom, there comes Kimberly's clothing. All back to normal. There's the box, there's all the box information, and we can see we can get rid of these lines from the old picture and just blur them out. Blur them all out really nice and erase all that information. Fix Kendall's leg right there. Hopefully you can see this. And eventually we got the whole resolution from the large picture for their faces, so you can see the detail of their faces. When you zoom in really close to 100%, we can see the detail in Karl and Karen's and everybody's faces, all from the large picture. And then we get the detail for the parts that were missing from the small picture, just as we showed you there. And then when we print it out, we can make a nice 8x10 with all the detail, and we still have all this information that got lost because of the glass. That's how you restore pictures in Photoshop. Thanks for watching this special feature. Hope you find the Easter eggs on the DVD. Have fun. Bye.